4 albums. Like they were with her for a long time. And we also got Queen Radio. And, you know, you could always hear, she was like G. Roberson, like in the background. Like they had a relationship. And, you know, when it comes to the split between them, it's not said, there's no specific reason given. And it's not said that it was an angry split. So, I mean, what to read into Nicki splitting with Blueprint Group? I was surprised. You know, I was surprised just because they were like this on Queen Radio and then but then I also know that Nicki would have made a best interest decision for herself. Hi guys, welcome back to No Ghostwriter. This is Blessing Mukosha, your fabulous host. Follow no_ghostwriter on Twitter and Instagram for 24/7 rap and hip hop talk. And be sure to like this video, leave a comment and subscribe if you like what we're talking about today. So today, by your request, I'm doing a brief history of Nicki Minaj's management. I think it's interesting to look at the different people who've managed Nicki over the years and the different challenges that she's had in her career. One of the biggest things that I've talked about in relation to Nicki Minaj and her career is how important it was that she stayed independent and knew who she was and who her brand was. And if you watched my video on why I think Nicki Minaj should mentor new rappers, I talked about her management and people did want me to discuss this in further depth. So we're really going to flesh this out in this video. So if you're interested, stick around and keep watching. And also, make sure that you check out the No Ghostwriter Patreon. There's exclusive content that I'm working on there, including full-length reactions every week. And also an exclusive podcast show for the rap connoisseur tier called Talking Hip Hop Heads, where I speak to rappers, creators, and other hip hop heads from around the world. So don't miss that. So check out patreon.com/No Ghostwriter. Okay, let's get into the video. So Nicki Minaj was not just discovered and didn't just start out in the rap game getting signed and having everything handed out to her. She did follow a trajectory and built her career up from scratch. So after she was in her rap group Hood Stars, she was working on different music and putting different things out. And she was famously on MySpace. So it was on MySpace that she was putting out her songs. There she caught the attention of Big Fendi, also known as Fendi. And Fendi was Nicki's first manager. So if you look at Nicki's very first mixtape releases, you can see you've got Dirty Money Records, you've got references to Big Fendi. So he was who was managing her. Now, the interesting thing about where Fendi was in relation to Nicki is that he really put her on. So he put her on the Come Up DVD, which is obviously, you know, the relationship with Wayne developed from her involvement with Big Fendi and her getting all that placement. So Fendi definitely helped with community outreach. You know, Nicki was also getting her own buzz on her own, but Fendi was very instrumental for sort of connecting those dots between the things that Nicki needed to do to move her career forward. But it's also really important that you acknowledge that with Nicki and Big Fendi, they did have a big fallout. You know, Nicki wasn't happy with a lot of the ways he was managing her, particularly aesthetically. One of the biggest things Nicki's talked about in relation to her first management with Big Fendi is she felt like he was branding her in a way she didn't really like, and that prompted a split.
My thing is this, you have to understand, we were not cool right up until
no, absolutely, we wasn't cool at all.
We parted ways. I was mad at how you were marketing me and promoting me, and you have to understand, I'm a female. I was always business savvy, and you know that. I was always strong-minded. People think money made me that way. I was always that way. I always had set things in how I wanted to act. When I was about to go down and meet Wayne, I told my husband, like, me and you spoke about, like, how Wayne is going, you know how Wayne feels like everybody probably wants to bust it open for him, and how I was going to be acting in there, so he knew I was a different type of person.
And that split between her and Fendi was something that, you know, I wouldn't say it haunted her. I don't think it was a big thing in her career, but it was something that, was there, and they really famously made amends in 2020, but that was after 12 years. So the last time that they really spoke and associated with each other was in 2008. So Nicki's first manager was involved very early, so 2007, early 2008, and then he had no more involvement in her career and actually wouldn't speak to or see her for another 12 years. So you can definitely see that, at least from her first manager, there was a huge split. And they've talked about different things. When they had a reconciliation interview, they talked about the reasons. So they talked about all sorts of things. And one of the biggest things Fendi wanted to say is he felt like he didn't get credit for, Nicki Minaj. And something that Nicki said is, everyone wants the stamp of, I did this for Nicki Minaj. At the end of the day, I did this for Nicki Minaj. But along the way, my biggest push was you, Big Fendi, and the Come Up DVD. We gelled also as human beings outside of rap. We had good banter in front of the camera. We were playing, dissing each other, laugh and stuff like that. So it just worked. But I just want to make it clear that we weren't cool for a while. And I was out there busting my ass for a while by myself in Atlanta. So it wasn't like as soon as I made it, I dropped you. I would never do that. And Fendi also acknowledged that Nicki did keep shouting him out on DVDs and things like that. And he also talks about the difficulties that, Nicki had introducing herself to the rap world because she was serious as a woman and she was a serious female rapper. And I don't think that the industry or the community knew how to take someone seriously. Someone like Nicki Minaj. I mean, she showed them how to take her seriously eventually, but it just goes to show at the beginning there was that sort of tension there. So that sort of separation between Fendi and Nicki was so early in her career that a lot of what we saw of Nicki Minaj, early Nicki Minaj, was when she was under her second management, and that was Deb Anthony. Now, Deborah Anthony is a legend in hip hop. She's a legendary manager, figure, mentor, and she was really instrumental in pushing Nicki forward, and she was the one that was with Nicki when she signed to major labels, was doing big things, and I love the story of Nicki and Deb. You've always seen Deb stick up for Nicki. She said a lot of really interesting and supportive things about her. And I just wanted to, before we get into the story of Nicki's management with Deb, I just want to say I love this story. I think Deb is amazing. So I'm going to read some of the highlights. So Deb says about working with Nicki Minaj, there wasn't no partying, there wasn't no drugs, there wasn't no guys, there was none of that. There wasn't no mess. She wasn't on a bunch of meds and she wasn't into drama. She worked. And so Deborah Anthony is the founder and CEO of Mize, I think it's Mize Entertainment Management Company. She's been on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She's Waka Flocka Flame's mum, and she formerly managed Nicki and Gucci. So specifically, Deborah worked with Nicki Minaj on her 2009 Beam Me Up Scotty mixtape, which helped Nicki ascend to the highest echelons of rap. Very true. Beam Me Up Scotty is a really important mixtape in the Nicki Minaj timeline. So if you think about where Nicki was at Beam Me Up, Deb was huge for, supporting her, building her, hyping her. And, in relation to the types of things that she used to focus on with Nicki, she says, her self-esteem. She really went through a lot of stuff, trust factors and all those kinds of little things. The one thing she wanted to do was sing, so I placed her with Jan Smith to get some vocal training. I wanted to see where she was and allow her to feel comfortable with her vocals. And then the resulting product was Beam Me Up Scotty. And so Deb was asked again, saying what specific challenges she had working with a woman rapper, as opposed to the lots of male rappers that she's worked with. And Deb says, Nicki has made it hard for me to deal with other women. Her focus was phenomenal. The bar is raised so high because of what she did and her work ethic. There wasn't any partying. There wasn't any drugs. So you concede that it was all hard work when Nicki was with Deb. I think the things that differentiate Nicki from a lot of, everyone else is her hard work that she's put in. And Deb was there. And she carried on and said, Nicki was always a very pretty girl. She had a lot of people who wanted her then. She was like new meat coming down to Atlanta, but nothing deterred her from where she wanted to be. It was so real when she said in her song, it's not about who you know, it's not about your looks, it's not about anything, it's about who wants it the most. She says that at the beginning of Beam Me Up Scotty, so check that out. She said to me, Deb, I want it. And then in her record, she said, I want it the most. That was real. By any means necessary, she was going to do it. There was a time where everyone kept turning her down. We went to New York and she sat against the wall and was like, why, Deb, why? And I said, get up. What do you want to do? She's like, I want this. And I was like, how bad do you want this? What are you willing to sacrifice? And she looked at me and said, I want this, Deb. She wanted the most and she did it. From that time on, there was no looking back. She did it. Oh God, remembering that just brought tears to my eyes. So that is why I love the story of Nicki and Deb. Deb was with Nicki when she was busting those label doors down, dealing with bidding wars. But to get there, she was going through rejection after rejection after rejection. And that is the big lesson, I think, for Nicki Minaj. She got rejected a lot before she made it. And Deb was right alongside her and just shows that Deb has such a fundamental role to play in Nicki Minaj's management. You know, she didn't stay with Nicki for the whole time. She was there when she was there. But the place she had in her journey was huge. And I don't think that, I don't know, I'm just presuming, but I don't know whether a man managing her could have done that. And, you know, if you want me to talk more about, you know, just Deb herself and the different observations she's had about working with women rappers, I'd really happily do that, but let me know in the comments. And also, if you want me to sort of look more closely at that process Nicki went through to get signed, let me know, because I've always wanted to research that. So Deb and Nicki, you know, you can really see, like I said, Deb had a big place in Nicki's life and her career. And I just think it's beautiful to remember that, you know, everyone faces rejection. Everyone hears no. But it's about how you keep going through those rejections and move past those no's. And that's Nicki's story. And just, yeah, so shout out to Deb. Really helped her and got her signed to a major and all of that stuff. You know, if it wasn't for Deb safely carrying, you know, or helping carry Nicki from the underground to the mainstream, Pink Friday wouldn't have happened. So thank you, Deb. So for the majority of her career, Nicki has been with people that you may recognize these names, G. Roberson and Cortez Bryant. So these two were Nicki Minaj's managers for a really, really long time. They're the co-CEOs of the Blueprint Group, and yeah, repped Nicki for the majority of her career. They aren't her managers anymore. So let's just say that. So in 2019, she split with them, and Lil Wayne, who was also managed by them, also split with them. So there was a total split from the Blueprint Group, you know, from Young Money, you know, Wayne and Nicki. And there's speculation around this. I think this would be a whole video in and of itself. So if you would like me to discuss it, let me know. But in summary, you know, there has been a lot of feeling, particularly amongst the Barbs, that they feel like Nicki's management have not handled her properly and haven't had her stuff in order. And that's particularly in relation to my favorite album, Queen. And I understand that, you know, the rollout and all of that stuff, you know, leaks of music, things like that, people were, you know, thinking that's probably in relation to her management. Also, Nicki says in Nice to Meet Ya with Meghan Trainor, had to cut the grass. There were snakes in the camp. read into that what you will. So yeah, although, you know, Blueprint Group, G. Roberson and Cortez, yeah, they've been managing Nicki for the majority of her career, you know, and they were handling Nicki from like 2009-10 all the way to 2019. That's like 10 years they were with Nicki. And in that time, we had, you know, 4 albums. Like they were with her for a long time. And we also got Queen Radio. And, you know, you could always hear, she was like G. Roberson, like in the background, like they had a relationship. And, you know, when it comes to the split between them, it's not said, there's no specific reason given, and it's not said that it was an angry split. So, I mean, what to read into Nicki splitting with Blueprint Group? I was surprised. You know, I was surprised just because they were like this on Queen Radio, and then but then I also know that Nicki would have made a best interest decision for herself. And so is there a relationship between that and cutting the grass? That bar? Who knows? But that brings us to Nicki's current management. Now, this is a very funny story. So Nicki's current management since, I believe, 2019 is Irving Azoff. Now, Irving Azoff is an established music industry figure. And he was in the line of fire on Queen Radio. Actually, I think he was one of the first people that Nicki gave Cocksucker of the Day. And in summary, he also manages Travis Scott. So when all the stuff happened with the merch bundling and, you know, Nicki not being able to debut at #1 as she rightfully should have, and Billboard should rectify that. You know, there was, you know, suspicion that, you know, there was a deliberate smear campaign coming from Travis's camp. Now, Nicki had her reasons for believing that, her reasons for pushing that forward. You know, Irving got what he got, and somehow out of that, we got them working together. I don't know how we got there, but that's what we ended up with. Now, one of the reasons the Barbs were really, really excited about Nicki announcing that she was going to work with Irving is because of his experience in the industry. You know, a lot of people think, yes, this is going to tighten up Nicki Minaj's management. This is going to make the Nicki Minaj operation, you know, much more slick. They're really, really excited by this. And I understand the excitement. You know, if you look at Irving Azoff's record and what he's done a lot. I mean, managing Travis Scott is a pretty big CV point. And, you know, Azoff said, "You're going to make me look like the smartest guy alive. My timing's great. You were always the queen, but you're going to blow up even bigger now." And so that's where Nicki's at with her management. So yeah, we'll see what Irving delivers for NM5. And make sure you check out my video about what I want from Nicki Minaj's 5th album as well. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, just giving you a history of Nicki Minaj's management and talking about some of it. I've given points about where we can discuss and get more into things in other videos, so comment and let me know. But for now, how do you feel about Irving being Nicki Minaj's manager? Are you excited? What do you think about the fact that he called her out on Queen Radio and is now working... Sorry, she called him out on Queen Radio and is now working with him? Tell me what you think. I think he's very smart and he can really take on the Queen. But let me know in the comments. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it and subscribe. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.